Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Diecast Resurrection. Today we are going to do a little bit of experimenting. I have a real sweet 1972 Chevy C10 lowrider here. And today I want to practice some weathering techniques. So since I'm only going to be using my airbrush today, I wanted to pick a scale that was a little bit larger. This is a 132 scale, so the airbrush details are going to be a little bit easier on a larger size today. So let's get started making this thing old. These models are really sweet, even though they don't have a ton of detail. The castings are really nice. The bases are all plastic and kind of chintzy, but I think I broke one of these on the live stream when I was taking it apart. Just shattered the base on it, so it's got the right look though. These big wheels and everything, if you can get them apart without blowing them up. As always, we're using aircraft paint remover. Whoa. This stuff is crazy. Let's watch. I'll probably let this chill out for a bit just because this body's quite a bit bigger than we're used to stripping, so I'm gonna let it do its thing. Imagine the top's all done here. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes, let it continue to do its thing, and then I'm gonna go give it a clean up in the sink with a brass brush and some hot water and get rid of all this. So I'll be back. Okay, so our body is nice and clean. Now we gotta do our painting. I'm gonna start with a primer, and then I'm gonna do a couple layers of rusty colored paint. And then I'm gonna do our top final coat of whatever beautiful colored truck we want. It's probably gonna be the classic teal for these Chevys, if you know what I'm talking about. And then we're gonna do some magic after that. To the paint booth. Alright, first things first, I'm going to start with my Stynylrez. This stuff seems to be a little bit more user-friendly than using the sealer that I've used in the past. The sealers are more for fancy candy jobs when you need a different color base coat. But for this, I'm just going to use a good old gray primer. A little more than usual because the car is bigger. Or the truck, I should say. Won't be able to catch me in my new truck. Okay, that looks good to me. We're going to give this a few minutes to just thoroughly dry while I clean out my brush, and I'll start mixing up some rusty colors. The idea here is we're going to do layers of these rusty colors, and we're going to sand through the top coat to find our rust colors and create patina. So our darkest color is going to be the really deepest part of the rust. The lighter color is going to be newer rust. So I'm going to do the darker color first. I'm going to do the whole truck, and then we're going to come back and do some spots with the brown, and we're going to let all that dry. So we're going to let that dry a little bit and we'll switch to our lighter color. But this is our main dark patina color. Okay, got our lighter color in. I'm trying to be a little patchy with it. Doesn't really matter. But you gotta kind of know. So we have our secondary color on there now. I pretty well painted the whole thing. Doesn't really matter, it's all up to your personal preference, but I pretty well did the whole thing just so that I could add any patina anywhere on this truck that I choose. But that'll be after I get the final color on. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry completely. I'm going to mix up my teal color, my classic Chevy C10 color, and then we'll go from there. Okay, now getting ready to mix our top coat. And I'd like to have a nice classic teal, I think. Something that's really gonna stand out when we start adding our patina. We'll see how this goes here. It'll be the green. Nice classic teal. Balancing clear, add some volume to our paint. Get those door jams. And we're going to let that dry. We're going to give it one more good coat and then let the whole thing dry completely. Okay, we're done with our color. I'm going to let this dry 100%. I'm going to go for lunch and I'll come back and we'll start doing some patina. I'm going to start with probably an 800 here. And the idea is we want to sand through our paint, but we don't want to go all the way. We just want to get to that dark layer we created. So I've got a brown layer here, and then I got almost a black layer below that. So we got lots of room to really do some cool effects here. This would be way harder to do on a 1/64 scale, but it's my first time doing it, so I wanted to just try it out. See how this would work. certain parts are always worse than others. The roof was exceptionally bad. So just like on that 57 Chev I did, I'm going to bring our chrome trim through the body. But I'm going to do it after I'm done everything because I'm going to be airbrushing a little bit on here. I don't want to airbrush over chrome that I've already exposed, so I'm going to wait till the end. But that's starting to look real good. I'm going to keep going on this and we'll check back in a few. There we go, starting to look like an old farm truck now, which is perfect because when we're done, you know what it's going to look like. And probably do a little bit more work over here. What I've been doing is I'm sanding down. If I sand too much side to side, that's the pattern you're going to have. And we want this thing to look like it's been getting rained on for 100 years. So we got to sand down. And that's going to drag all our... It's going to make our effects look like they're running down the body. Same with on the hood. I've been pushing this back so that it looks like the paint's been slowly peeling off and going towards the cab. So you can see how the direction does make a difference. Okay, I'm quite pleased with what we got going on here. It's starting to look like an old dirty farm truck. What we're going to do now is load up our airbrush with the lighter color brown, and we're going to add to what we've already sanded. It's going to be sweet. I'm going back to my 1500, and anywhere I sprayed a little bit too much, I'm just going to try to thin it out. I might try to get some of this blue back as well. I don't want to lose all my teal just from overspray. So I'm going to chase back some of this overspray with my sandpaper and get some of our blue back in our paint job here. Okay, truck's looking pretty good, pretty rusty crusty. I'm liking everything we got going on here. Okay, this took me quite a while, but I got our trim cleaned out nicely. We'll put our decals on the door, and then we'll clear coat this bad boy and get it back together, and it's gonna be awesome. Okay, we're about ready to do some decals. I got our chrome looking nice. The truck's looking old and crappy. It's perfect, just what I wanted. I made some decals. I don't know how well they're gonna work just because I'm running out of ink. We're gonna give it a shot anyways. Jammy. Be straight to me actually. Good old Jimmy's garage. It's kind of old-timey. I like it. I like it. Get those on there real good. Beautiful. Alright. I like that. I like that. Would have been nice for him to give me a full wiper. Half a wiper. Punks. Do this in a white. I don't know how it's going to look. Might not be that good. Maybe it'll be just fine. It's going to need a couple coats. So once these little details dry, I'm going to clear coat the whole thing. I'll show you guys, and I'm probably going to end the video there. I got a bunch more stuff I got to work on, bumpers, grills, etc. And I'm just going to leave that for a second video just because this is taking me too long. This will be a two-parter. So I'm going to get this clear coated and I'll show you guys, and that'll be it. Alright, that's as far as we're going with today's video. Here's after a clear coat. I'm just waiting for it to dry. Jimmy! I think it's going to be a pretty sweet ride, and the rust looks really realistic to me. Leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up, let me know what you think. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will finish this bad boy tomorrow. Bye!